The air in the nursery felt heavy, thick with the scent of baby powder, and the faint tang of antiseptic wipes. I stood frozen, clutching the DNA test results, my fingers trembling as the paper crinkled under my grip. The words swam before my eyes. 99.9% probability of non-paternity. My son, our son, the one whose tiny hand I'd kissed an hour ago, wasn't mine. The room spun, pastel blue walls blurring into a sickening haze. My wife, Lila, was downstairs, humming softly as she folded laundry, oblivious to the bomb I held in my hands. Or was she? I'd always prided myself on being observant, the kind of man who noticed the smallest shifts in a room's mood. But this betrayal had slipped past me, a shadow moving in broad daylight. My chest tightened, a dull ache spreading like wildfire. How long had I been blind? I sank into the rocking chair, the creak of wood against the floorboards echoing like a heartbeat. The test wasn't supposed to mean anything. Just a formality, a precaution after my mother's cryptic warnings about Lila's late-night phone calls. She's hiding something. Mom had whispered over coffee last month, her eyes sharp with suspicion. I'd laughed it off, chalking it up to her overprotective streak. Now her words clawed at me, undeniable. The first hint came 6 months ago, though I didn't see it then. Lila had started staying up late, her phone glowing under the blanket as she typed furiously, claiming it was work emails. I believed her because I wanted to. Our marriage wasn't perfect, but it was ours, built on late-night talks, shared dreams of a family, and the kind of love that felt like coming home. When she got pregnant, I'd been over the moon, painting the nursery, assembling the crib, planning a future with our little boy. But there were moments, fleeting, easily dismissed, that nagged at me. The way she'd flinch when I touched her phone. The hushed conversations that stopped when I entered the room. The perfume she wore. A musky scent she'd never liked before. I forced myself to stand, the paper crumpling further in my fist. Downstairs, the clink of dishes and Lila's soft humming continued. A mockery of normalcy. I wanted to storm down, to scream, to demand answers, but my legs felt like lead. What if I was wrong? What if the test was a mistake? Doubt gnawed at me, a cruel companion to the anger simmering in my gut. I loved her. God, I still loved her even now with the truth staring me in the face. The thought made me sick. Not just the betrayal but my own weakness for wanting to believe her. I crept downstairs, each step deliberate, the hardwood cold against my bare feet. The living room was bathed in the golden glow of late afternoon, dust motes dancing in the sunlight streaming through the window. Lila sat cross-legged on the couch, folding tiny onesies, her dark hair falling over one shoulder. She looked so serene, so impossibly beautiful, that for a moment I doubted everything. Then she glanced up and her smile faltered. Just a flicker, but enough to twist the knife in my chest. "Hey, you okay?" she asked, her voice soft but laced with something I couldn't place. Concern? Guilt? I held up the paper, my hand shaking. "What's this, Lila?" My voice cracked, raw and unsteady. I hated how vulnerable I sounded. How much I wanted her to have an explanation that would make this nightmare disappear. Her eyes widened and for a split second I saw it, panic, raw and unfiltered, before she masked it with confusion. "What are you talking about?" She stood, setting the onesie aside, her movements too careful, too controlled. "Don't," I said, my voice sharper now. "Don't lie to me. The DNA test. He's not mine." The words burned my throat, each one a shard of glass. "Whose is he, Lila? Who's the father?" Her face crumpled and she took a step back, her hands clutching the edge of the couch. "Mark, She stopped, her breath hitching. "It's not what you think." "Then what is it?" I shouted, the sound echoing in the quiet house. Upstairs the baby stirred, a soft whimper drifting down. My heart lurched, my son, or so I'd thought. "Tell me, because I'm standing here, trying to understand how the woman I love could do this to me." Tears welled in her eyes, but I couldn't tell if they were real or rehearsed. "It was a mistake," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "It happened once, Mark. Just once. I was lonely and you were always working and—" "Don't you dare blame me," I snapped, stepping closer. The room felt smaller, the air suffocating. "Who was it?" She shook her head, lips trembling. "It doesn't matter. I love you. I chose you. I want this family. Doesn't matter?" I laughed, a bitter, hollow sound. "It matters to me, Lila. It matters that you let another man. I couldn't finish the sentence, the image too vivid, too excruciating. My mind raced, piecing together the last year. The late nights, the new perfume, the way she'd pull away when I tried to hold her. How had I missed it? How had I let myself believe we were happy? It was your mother, she said suddenly, her voice breaking. She pushed me to do the test. She kept saying I was hiding something, that I wasn't good enough for you. She wanted proof, Mark. She wanted to tear us apart. I froze, the words hitting like a punch. My mother? The one who'd planted the seed of doubt, who'd insisted on the test. I shook my head, trying to make sense of it. You're lying, I said, but my voice wavered. Mom had always been protective, maybe too much. She'd never warmed to Lila, always hinting she wasn't right for me. Had she orchestrated this? Had she manipulated us both? I'm not, Lila sobbed, sinking onto the couch. She gave me his name, Mark. She told me to make sure the baby was yours. I didn't want to, but she kept pushing, saying you deserved the truth. His name. My voice was barely a whisper now, dread pooling in my stomach. Who, Lila? She looked away, her hands twisting in her lap. James, she said finally, the name a knife to my heart. My best friend. The guy I'd known since college, who'd stood at our wedding, who'd held our son just last week, grinning like he belonged in our lives. The room tilted. I stumbled back, gripping the wall for support. James. My mother. Lila. The betrayal wasn't just one thread. It was a web, tangled and suffocating, pulling me under. I wanted to scream, to break something, but all I could do was stare at her. The woman I'd built my world around, now a stranger. I'm sorry, she whispered, reaching for me. I flinched, her touch burning like acid. I love you, Mark. I love our son. We can fix this. But I was already gone, retreating into myself, the paper still clutched in my hand. The truth wasn't just in the test. It was in the cracks of our life, the lies I'd ignored, the trust I'd given too freely. And as I stood there, the nursery's lullaby drifting faintly from upstairs, I realized the real betrayal wasn't just Lila's affair or my mother's scheming. It was my own refusal to see the truth, even when it stared me in the face.